Our protagonist is Pippa. She and her longtime boyfriend, Thomas, have just moved into a beautiful apartment. It has large windows that let in plenty of light. After signing the lease, the apartment became their new home. That evening, while celebrating, they accidentally saw a camera flash from the apartment across the street. It seemed their neighbor was a photographer, and there was a girl in the apartment. The two of them then hugged and kissed, even getting intimate on the kitchen table, giving Pippa and Thomas a free movie. This made Pippa incredibly excited. That night, she put on a sexy nightgown, sprayed on perfume, and went out, intending to have a housewarming photo shoot, but unexpectedly, her boyfriend Thomas was already asleep, leaving Pippa completely disappointed. The next morning, Pippa went to work. Her job is an ophthalmologist, specializing in eye exams and fitting glasses for clients. That day, Pippa received a housewarming gift from her boss. It was a small birdhouse hanging in the window, used for birds to fly in to eat and drink. When she got home, she hung it up and, along with Thomas, curiously peeked over at the neighbor's house. They saw the guy suddenly choke. Meanwhile, her roommate was wearing headphones and didn't notice anything. Confused about whether to run over, the girl noticed and successfully rescued him. That night, unable to sleep, Pippa went to the kitchen for a drink and accidentally saw the girl from across the street carrying a suitcase and leaving, seemingly going away for a few days. The guy stood at the window waving goodbye. Seeing his six-pack abs, Pippa felt an intense longing. The following afternoon, after work, she saw a pair of binoculars in a store and decided to buy them with the intention of spying on her neighbor, to her heart's content. That night, Pippa and Thomas used binoculars and discovered that the man across the street had brought another woman to his house, while his girlfriend was away. Watching the intimate scene unfold, and already feeling attracted to each other after several days together, Pippa suggested they make love, while observing the couple across the street. This made her imagine she was having sex with the guy across the street. Unfortunately, Thomas was impotent, and the neighbor had already changed positions and was still going strong. Unable to sleep that night, Pippa went outside and accidentally saw his girlfriend carrying her suitcase home, then climbing into bed and passionately kissing her boyfriend. The next day was Halloween, and while at a cafe, Pippa and Thomas chatted about their neighbor couple with two friends. Pippa said she wished she could overhear their conversation. The girl with the green hair then remembered her college days. Thomas had once figured out a way to eavesdrop on people by using a laser pointer as a long-range microphone. As soon as they got home, Pippa urged her boyfriend to devise a plan to eavesdrop on the couple across the street. They would have to shine a laser beam onto the glass on the other side. When there were conversations, the laser would record the vibration pattern of the sound, then convert that vibration pattern into sound waves to listen to. However, Thomas said this was impossible, because the laser beam would have to reflect back to record the sound waves. This meant they would have to go into the apartment and place a mirror behind the window. Just then, they looked over and saw the couple across the street preparing for a Halloween cosplay party. Pippa immediately came up with a plan. That night, they dressed up in costumes and went straight to the apartment across the street, blending in as guests at the party. As soon as they entered, the homeowner pulled them to a chair to take pictures. Afraid of being caught, Thomas and Pippa quickly cooperated and took a few photos. The couple then happily drank and danced like real guests, even reveling in having tricked the homeowner. Pippa had secretly attached a small mirror to the back of a statue near the window. Upon returning home, they both shone a laser beam directly at the mirror. Pippa then used chalk to pinpoint the direction of the reflected laser beam. After adjusting the sound waves, Thomas picked up the voice on the other side. They were overjoyed when they overheard the couple arguing. The girl was clearly jealous after seeing her boyfriend go into the restroom with another woman in the middle of the party. The man immediately denied it, angrily claiming his girlfriend was prejudiced about his work, always assuming he was sleeping with models. He threatened that if she didn't trust him, they should get a divorce. Hearing the word divorce, the wife immediately apologized, hugging her husband, but he coldly pushed her away, breaking her glasses. The next day at work, Pippa was stunned to see the girl from across the street. She introduced herself as Julia and wanted a new pair of glasses. Pippa, though slightly flustered, proceeded to measure Julia's eyes and choose frames for her. Afterward, Julia praised her professionalism and cuteness, expressing a desire to befriend her, and suggesting they go to the spa together that weekend. Meanwhile, Thomas was at home and witnessed the man across the street propositioning another model. That evening, Pippa recounted Julia's visit to her shop, and Thomas spoke about what he had seen that afternoon. Pippa then told that Julia should know the truth. Her husband was having affairs with many women. However, Thomas objected, saying they shouldn't interfere in other people's business. That weekend, the two women met at a spa. Julia confided that she used to be a model but was now unemployed. Her husband's name was Sebastian. He was a well-known photographer. They met at a photo shoot and got married afterward. Julia said she loved her husband very much and couldn't live without him, even though Sebastian was a rather eccentric artist with a dark side. In the following days, Pippa still witnessed Sebastian sleeping with models, even throwing used condoms in the trash can at home. She felt sorry for the naive and infatuated Julia, so that night, seeing her sitting alone, reading while Sebastian was fast asleep, and knowing Julia had a wireless printer, Pippa printed an anonymous note to it that read, "Your husband is cheating on you." Julia was quite distraught when she read the note, but then threw it in the trash. Pippa saw this and sent another note, stating that there was a used condom in the bathroom trash can. Just then, Thomas woke up and realized what his girlfriend was doing and became quite angry. He told her not to be so obsessed and meddle in their neighbors' affairs. Meanwhile, Julia found the condom in the trash and was devastated. Pippa and Thomas were horrified when they saw Julia pick up a knife and go into the bedroom, intending to stab her husband, but luckily she didn't go through with it. Thomas breathed a sigh of relief but was so angry that he threw the binoculars to the ground and dejectedly went into the bedroom. But things didn't end there. The next morning, the couple were shocked to find that Julia had done something rash and passed away. This was the last straw for Thomas. He accused his girlfriend of causing someone's death for not obeying him, declared a breakup, and left the apartment. The following days, Pippa lived in loneliness and torment. She observed Sebastian also suffering and drinking alone. One night, Pippa saw him going down to the bar below the building, so she changed her clothes and followed him, choosing a table nearby. Unexpectedly, Sebastian immediately approached her and struck up a conversation. They talked and drank together happily. He even mentioned he was about to hold a photo exhibition and wanted to invite her to attend. Sebastian then said he wanted to photograph Pippa and invited her to his apartment. She readily agreed, and what was bound to happen, happened. Sebastian continued his usual behavior. During the photo shoot, he propositioned Pippa for nude photos. He even took off his own clothes to make her feel more comfortable. Although Pippa knew all his tricks, she obediently complied because she had long desired to sleep with him. What happened next is predictable. The female protagonist seemed to forget everything and become completely immersed in the euphoric sensations. Just then, Thomas returned to the apartment, carrying a bouquet of flowers to make amends. Finding his girlfriend nowhere to be seen, he opened the refrigerator to get a bottle of water, noticed a strange taste, and poured it all into the birdhouse outside the window. He inadvertently caught sight of his girlfriend bobbing up and down on the neighbor's sofa. Thinking he was hallucinating, Thomas looked through the binoculars and saw that it was indeed Pippa. He felt a pang of despair. He couldn't believe that after only a few days apart, she had slept with another man. The next morning, upon returning home, Pippa was stunned to find Thomas had hanged himself in their apartment. The funeral followed, and Pippa spent the rest of her days consumed by guilt. Finally, the day of Sebastian's photo exhibition arrived, and Pippa decided to attend. When he stepped onto the stage to speak, something completely unexpected happened. Sebastian thanked his wife and invited her onto the stage. At that moment, Julia, in flesh and blood, appeared, shocking Pippa. Julia then announced that the photo series was titled The Glimpse, a modern-day story, a bittersweet tragedy about a girl named Pippa. And then, a giant, semi-nude photograph of the protagonist suddenly appeared for everyone to admire. Sebastian began recounting how she and Thomas had moved in and how they had been spying on their neighbors. They were so obsessed that they even infiltrated a Halloween party to plant a recording device. Then he told them about the couple's argument that led to Thomas's death. Pippa then realized that she and Thomas had been the ones being spied on all along. Overwhelmed with shame and humiliation, Pippa immediately left. She was so angry that she went straight to their apartment, stormed inside, and discovered another secret room in the attic. It was filled with photos of her and Thomas, not to mention camera lenses pointed at the opposite apartment, taking pictures every few seconds. Pippa screamed, smashed, and destroyed everything in the room. She couldn't sue Julia and Sebastian because, when signing the lease, she hadn't read the clauses carefully, which included the landlord's right to use the tenants' photos. It turned out that the couple were the owners of that apartment. They would often invent a different life for their neighbors to observe, which would then turn them into curious stalkers. The couple would then retaliate, drawing inspiration for unique photo shoots, which they would sell for a fortune and achieve great success. A few days later, Pippa moved out of the apartment. When she emptied the water from the birdhouse, she saw many dead birds below the window. At that moment, she seemed to realize something. The next day, when Julia and Sebastian returned home, there was a bottle of wine outside their apartment door, with a card from an art gallery. They happily clinked glasses and drank it all. Suddenly, the sound of a printer rang out. It turned out Pippa had sent a message saying, "I know Thomas didn't commit suicide, and you killed him." The couple then discovered Pippa on the rooftop and immediately chased after her through several streets. Both then saw the female protagonist run into the eyewear shop, where Pippa worked. Catching her inside, Julia asked Pippa if she had any evidence that they killed Thomas. Pippa said she had no evidence, but she knew Julia was the one who poisoned him that night and staged it to look like Thomas had committed suicide, all to get a memorable set of photos. At that moment, Julia felt dizzy and fell unconscious. Pippa explained that the bottle of wine outside the door was hers and contained a sedative. A few seconds later, Sebastian also fell unconscious. Pippa then took both of them to the operating table, taking revenge on them by shining a high-intensity laser directly into their eyes, completely burning their retinas and causing permanent blindness. Sometime later, a gay couple moved into the apartment. Looking across the street, they saw a blind couple with cloudy eyes. That's the ending Pippa gave Julia and Sebastian. The movie ends here. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.